start us off?
Yes, we are recording.
Okay, well, hello, welcome to our first terrible, I don't know what you call a podcast that's got video. Is it a vodcast? I guess it's that. It's just, you just stick a V on the front, and that's basically it. You've got Tim there and me here. Hello, and we're going to talk you through the terms and conditions for this year's Loughborough University London e-challenge. So Tim, should we start with what we mean by a team, because that tends to make people, you know, a bit confused. What do we mean by a team?
So most entrepreneurial ventures require a team. There are very few things you can really do on your own. What we really want to see from a program like this then is at least two people who are working together and are able to collaborate in some way in order to be able to better advance their activity. So you're able to combine maybe somebody who's got a whole load of kind of upfront, outgoing charisma and somebody who's really good at making things happen and being able to deliver. Maybe you've got a finance person and a tech key, but some way that you're able to combine things in order to make it credible that you can actually do the thing you said you're going to do. There's not really a fixed upper limit on team size in the real world, but we'd strongly suggest that you don't try and go much above 4 and 5, or you really won't be able to hold things together. So 2-3 people is probably what we expect to see from most of the teams.
Now, the 2 or 3 people don't all need to be co-founders, do they? It can be a founder working with an advisory board, or it can be a founder working with a team who are supporting the operation of what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
is that
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay, so hopefully that's nice and clear. So we need a team. Team means not just one person, it means more than one person. We're strongly advising between 3 and 5 people. 2's fine though, but 3 and 5 people's a pretty good start. They don't all need to be founders of the enterprise. You need at least one, and this is really important, you need at least one Loughborough University London or Loughborough University student involved. And if you can also have a Loughborough University London alumni, but you can't have Loughborough University alumni. Hopefully that's nice and clear. You're allowed to have them in your team, but a Loughborough University alumni on their own doesn't count as being, you know, one of the Loughborough University parts of the team, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Tim?
It makes sense, but these kind of terms and conditions are exactly what video was made for, rather than the pages and pages of very small print that Facebook tries to get you to not look at and read before they give your information to somebody else.
Exactly. So I might just repeat it because, you know, that was fun. So you need a Loughborough University London student or alumni, or a Loughborough University Loughborough University student. You can have Loughborough University alumni on your team, but they wouldn't count as your core person, if you see what I mean. The person who qualifies you to be in the Tim's putting his thumb up. That must be good. Okay, so we start with that's kind of one of the big bits, the team. The next thing is what we actually want people to submit as part of this competition, because you actually have to submit something. So earlier in the year we had a silly competition really called 100 for 100, where you had to do a little 100-second video. This time round you need to do a 90-second video, so you need to shave 10 seconds off your original video. That's because lots and lots of competitions like this ask for 90 seconds. They don't want any more. Hopefully those of you who took part in the 100-second video got the concept of what you need to cover. But the other part of this, Tim, is we want a business plan, and we don't offer any kind of, we're not giving people like a template to fill in or anything like that. So what do they need to do for a business plan?
So the important thing about any kind of plan is that it really covers all of the bases. So templates tend to end up with something that's a bit static, that doesn't really respond to what it is that you're doing and that you've got an idea for. So a good plan, always necessary, it needs to cover what is the product or service that you're going to deliver, who is it for, why is it needed, what's the market, what's the team that's going to make that possible, and what do the basic finances look like that tell us that this is both practical and worth doing. And however you want to structure that and format of that will be fine. During the course of the boot camp, we'll go through some different ways to present key parts of it and do some things that are a little bit different about some of the ways you might want to represent that. But at the end of it all, it's going to be up to you.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, so there's 2 parts there. So what you were saying, first of all, sounds like a slide deck. So it sounds like, you know, that would be a good way of constructing exactly what you need to put together. And then the other bit that you said was that we've got a boot camp. It's another boot camp. This time round, we've called it the Startup Weekender. And brilliantly, as with all the things that we do, we count the start of the weekend as being Friday, not Saturday. So Friday the 20th. So we should have said the reason why we're not doing this in person is because Tim's busy getting elected and I'm in Istanbul. So I'm not there now. I will be when I was supposed to be doing this. So that's why we're not there. So anyway, on the 20th of April, that's a Friday. We start, I can't remember what time we start. It's on the website. Look on Loughborough University London's website. They'll be pleased that we're promoting this. Look on it there. I think it's 10 o'clock. I would have thought it's 10 o'clock.
I think it's 10 o'clock.
We're not kind of 9 o'clock people. We're more 10 o'clock people. So,
well, to be fair,
so
I'm looking at you now, and at the time we're recording this, it's about midday, and you definitely don't look like you're a 9 o'clock person.
No, that's because I've been answering emails since 6 o'clock this morning and looking after 2 small children, and doing a terrific job, a splendid, wonderful job. Anyway,
demonstrating the key multitasking capability that all successful entrepreneurs need.
Yes, yet again I'm doing that. Anyway, the key thing is that it starts on Friday. You can sign up on the website. We'll also put a little link on this on this video, and it's a good thing to come along, and it'll be really helpful in terms of creating that plan. We will cover some stuff in terms of creating the video as well, but that we might pick some of that up a bit later before the deadline. But the key thing's the plan. Tim, I just wanted, there's one other thing just about the plan. Last year, we talked about product information sheets as being something which could be a useful part. Is it worth just picking that off as well? Because I mean, a slide deck, you will have that sort of stuff. You might have some of that in terms of the market information, but I just wondered if it was worth just talking about product information sheets and putting something in terms of that.
So one of the things we're trying to do here, and as Ben talked about with the video, is help encourage you to put things together that you're actually going to find useful for other activities. So that might be other competitions, but it might also be real world explanations that you want to put forward to potential investors or co-founders or others that you want to get involved in your venture. And therefore the original plan or a slide deck and a pitch deck is a useful start. But so is something that looks like an advert or a product information sheet, but something that really says, hey, this is a mock-up of what you would say about why your product or service is a really good idea, and why it's going to solve a problem for the customer group that you have in mind, how you're going to attract them. So you can think of it as basically, you know, the sort of thing that you might pick up as a brochure in a showroom if it was that kind of a product, or something that might be an advert in a magazine that says, this is what we're doing, this is who it's targeted at, this is why it's going to be beneficial to you, and this is what you need to do next, and how you'll jump off and acquire that, and whether or not that's simply download an app, go to this website, or turn up to a place for a particular service. But something that gives people a really clear understanding of how you're going to go and do the hardest thing for every business, which is acquiring customers and keeping them satisfied.
Magic. And we will cover much more of this in the Startup Weekender bootcamp thing, 20th, 21st of April. Again, if you're a Loughborough University London student, you're eligible to come along. If you're a Loughborough University London alumni, you're eligible to come along. If you're a Loughborough University student, you're eligible to come along. And guess what? This time round, if you're a Loughborough University alumni, you're eligible to come along. So look, aren't we being very kind?
We're really not going to be that fussed, are we, Ben? I mean, ultimately, if people turn up, it's going to be good.
Currently, I've got nobody to check the register when we start. So, you know, it's basically down to you and me. We are the worst bouncers in the world. We run a club, and anyone can come in. It's just, there's no, you know, no. Even if you're wearing trainers, we'll let you in. You know, we're like that. That's basically.
And if you've made it this far through this recording, then you probably deserve to come. The other thing I would say about the Startup Weekender is it's not going to be quite the same as the other stuff we've done in the past. We're going to be experimenting with some new material. There'll be a bit of a regular kind of, you know, the Ben and Tim show. There may be singing, almost certainly be some dancing at some point. There'll be some veiled references to 1980s song lyrics, but there'll also be some useful new material we're looking at different ways of helping you to think about and plan your venture through certain key documents, charts, and so forth that you will need to produce as part of a plan. So we won't be covering ground that you've done before with us. We won't be asking you to fill in a business model canvas. We won't be asking you to produce the kind of documents you produced elsewhere or the things you produced elsewhere. What we will do is take you through the idea of producing a small number of diagrams and documents that would together help you form the kind of real world pack that would be useful and needed if you're going out to convince anybody else that what you think is a good idea actually is a good idea.
Yeah, it'll be new. Yeah, new. No repeating old stuff, even though we are essentially a repeat of old stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah. There'll be old jokes.
There will be old jokes. Will be recycled.
There will be old jokes. Yeah, there will be some of that. That will definitely be it. So, final things. The deadline to enter the e-challenge, which is all part of this this thing, is the 16th of May. Just to remind you, there's a £3,000 prize fund. So that means we're not like those people who kind of like we go, well, there's going to be. We definitely want to award just one person £3,000, one team £3,000, or we want to award £2,000 for first prize. There's a prize fund of £3,000, and on the night, whoever our judges are, they will decide, you know, how we split it, what we do. That's all part of you entering. You basically you sign up for that. You know, if we get 3,000 teams and we decide we're going to give them £1 each, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to do that, because we're not going to get 3,000 teams. But if we did, and we wanted to do that, we reserve the right to be able to do that. Okay? Wouldn't be very effective, be a bit weird, but you know, we could do that if we wanted to. We're more likely to split it in a sort of more sensible way, or just give it to one brilliant team. You know, that's kind of how we want to do it. The pitch is on the 23rd of May. These are important dates. So deadline 16th of May. You need to be free for the pitch on the 23rd of May, and then we will award the prize on that night. And then, you know, off you go. You're all done. Final thing to say on the prize. We also include what we call a special ticket. I don't know if it's a golden ticket into the Fast Forward Pre-Accelerator program, which happens through June and July. So we give you a special route into that. And at some point during the next couple of months, we will bring previous participants along to some of the activities that we're doing, so then you can see sort of how that program helped them. And if you are thinking,
it's worth saying that this is a real accelerator program run on a competitive basis that people pay thousands of pounds to be part of, and we've signed up in order to be able to ensure that one or more of our teams can participate each time it's held during the course of the year, and this is part of our selection process for doing that. If none of you, none of the people who get that far look like they are going to be of the kind of quality that is needed for a real world program like that, we won't be putting anybody forward, but we can put one or two teams forward if we think that there's really good stuff there with the ability for those to grow. And this is a program that has a remarkable track record in its ability to be able to help businesses and get them funding for the first time. And that's one of the things that really attracts people to the program. And it takes people with real growth potential, particularly digital businesses, and helps support them through that process. And we'd like to see some of you be part of that.
Yeah, and you can look up. It's Fast Forward London is the website. You can look it up, have a look, see what they've done. I think the record is they've in terms of exiters coming through the program and exiting, it's over £1 million in terms of investment into those businesses. And there are some and there are some real fantastic success stories in terms of what's come through. Anyway, that's probably Tim. We've probably done enough. We've answered many questions. If you have more questions, the brilliant thing is you can then just stick them on the line below on the WhatsApp group. Just go, oh, they didn't answer this. And then we'll go, oh, okay, we didn't answer that, so we'd best answer it. It may take us some time because, as I said, Tim is in the process of getting elected. I'm going to Istanbul. I will come back You know, Tim may go to get elected and then never come back, because, you know, he's wanted so much by the people, who he will represent magnificently, no doubt. So yeah, so that's us. Thank you for listening. I'm glad that we made this an occasion where I look terrifically bad. So that's good.
I haven't really spotted a difference to the normal look.
No,
except for the slight lack of product in your hair.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Right, we're done, Tim. How do you stop this thing?
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Have fun.